left, right? So
Yeah.
as soon as you guys what happened before that, right before that, like right before the jet went onto rafters, you should have put your ult down to at least deter them to back up or
Mhm.
commit. You get what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
imagine you
Makes sense.
swung and the jet killed you. You guys would have lost that round,
Yeah.
100%. Right? So these are things you have to kind of get better at with decision making, processing
Mhm.
information. I knew there as soon as that. Remember how we saw three, right?
Yeah.
The Viper was down low with the Omen. Jet starts coming on belt, and then we saw a rain of flash. And I was like, that's four. And that flash also indicates to me that they're coming in. They're choosing to go, right? So
Mhm.
that's where you
Mhm.
got to be like, okay, I need to ult here. I need to put it down before I die, because if you died,
Yeah.
you guys would have had a really hard time with that game.
Man,
Okay.
I'm making too many mistakes. I can see like when I'm playing, I know like I'm hesitating too much, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think the key thing is that the processing speed, and this isn't a
Yeah.
genetics, okay? To some degree it
Mhm.
is, but it's got to be quicker in your thought processes and your thinking, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. It's got to be
Yeah.
quicker. Okay. The most elite, it's fucking quick, millisecond, faster than me. You know how fast I can calculate scenarios and what they're gonna do,
Yeah.
bro? They're like 3 times faster than me. Think about that. I'm not even that fast, and you know what I'm saying. So you kind of have to think about that a little bit. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't have
I
kills
am
around
both
this count, so I'll
shield
just use
and
Sage.
sword.
But let me share my screen real quick.
Okay.
There's not
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
utility notes anyway, so it's more so um thought process notes, the advanced game sense stuff. So, because I think you're
So we're
you're
just gonna
yeah
do one game, right?
Know that
yeah
there's
Uh,
no
yeah
one I
okay.
would
maybe
rather
yeah.
have
I
by
think we
my
have enough
side
time
than
for
you.
two. We'll just get through these notes. We'll see how long this takes though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No problem.
My ultimate is ready.
okay, so the first note is on attack, try to control mid more. So you started incorporating this. I know you do it too on your own. I don't know how consistent or how unpredictable it is in the sense that um, how well you're switching it up is what I mean, right? Like sometimes this round I'm gonna be mid and I'm gonna be here, and 3 rounds in a row I'll be mid, but then I'll go back to A, back with the team. Maybe I'll lurk up on the opposite side when they go up A, stuff like that. I don't know how good that is, but that is what is also required when you
Mhm.
when I mean by control mid. Like when I say control mid, doesn't mean sit here AFK every round, right? 12 rounds on attack. You gotta use the tendencies and frequencies, right? And it's very simple. Why? Because if you started mid here, and I'll ask you in a question, if you were mid here 6 rounds in a row, and the Viper saw you 6 rounds in a row, what are they gonna pick up on about you?
That you like to lurk mid,
Yeah, maybe not lurk
yeah.
up mid, but stay
But like
mid.
yeah,
Be
stay
here
around there.
always. Okay?
Yeah.
And when they can pick up that type of information, they know what type
Mhm.
of player you are and what you like to do. And when they
Yeah.
know that information, okay, it's easy to play against you, if that makes
Mhm.
sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to be really unpredictable. Switch it up. Sometimes be with the team. In the beginning, you're five-manning with them every time. And I told you, yo, go mid sometimes. Lurk up. What happened? This guy's running out with his knife out, and you killed him. And then what happened
Yeah.
after that? You instilled some fear in him. Where was he running out down here with his knife out ever again after that round?
I started jump
No,
sliding.
right. So that you could even condition him with that by you making it
Yeah.
seem like you're mid. So then he's sitting here
Here.
AFK, and then you're with your team. Right? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
So
It's an
how do you
advanced
do that exactly? Like just place like a turret maybe? Or
to kind of sell that you're here. I mean,
yeah.
you could maybe even start here, shoot, have your turret, and then walk off, and then he'll be he won't be here starting the
Here.
round, right? He'll probably
Okay.
be
Yeah.
over here, kitchen. So then start the round, he hears 1 mid, or maybe he's even boiler, and he calls it, yo, 1 mid, 1 mid. Right, and then he's
Mhm.
fucking in his head. Oh my god, the killjoy killed me here last time. Running out with my knife. Okay, I'm gonna make sure he's not here anymore. He's gonna be vigilant. He's gonna be cautious. He's not gonna give this to you for free, right? Would you
Yeah.
on defense? No.
No, no.
So That's how you have to look at it. Always try
Right.
to put yourself in their shoes, how they feel, what they know, what they've seen. Especially, maybe not in the one round, okay, in a mid round, but more so overall. You have to be able to assess this in games, with whether that's after 3 rounds, 8 rounds, 5 rounds, 20 rounds. You gotta immediately be like, boom, 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 boom. They're fast rotating guys. Killjoy is B. Okay, Viper, Reyna mid, Jet, Omen on A. Like I told you, I picked that up after 4 rounds, five
Yeah.
rounds. You didn't know. I asked you, and that's why I asked you to see if you knew. I was like, "Yo, do you know what their setup is? Are you tracking it?" And you're like,
Mm.
They're playing like two mid, two A, one B. That's not good enough, right? Yes, you know how many, but you need to know who. Does that make sense? It's really important because I'd rather know who than how many. Because then I know, okay, Viper's mid, he's gonna have Orb there with the Molly. Reyna can flash somewhere. Okay, Killjoy's on B with his utility setup there. They don't have a turret mid. Oh, Omen Jet, they have a flash dash combo on A. Does that make sense? You need to start thinking about this. Because by you just going, yeah, 1B, 2 mid, 2A, what does that mean? Like, what is at their disposal? How can we play around that? What strengths do they
Mm.
have against us or weaknesses? Right? We can't pinpoint the finer details of areas of the map or what the solution can be or what they can do to us, etc., etc., etc. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
you gotta start picking it needs to be fucking immediate. Immediate. Okay, and there's some
Mm.
tips I can tell you, which is I like to generally pick up where they're playing first round. I'm on attack, okay? Rounds, we do whatever. Rounds over, I generally like to pick up. Oh, yo, Killjoy was B, Viper's mid, Jet Omen on B on A. Sorry, right? At least know 4 out of 5, because it's gonna be hard in the first 2 3 rounds, because they sometimes move around, sometimes they weren't seen, stuff like that, right? So it needs to be immediate. At least track 3 out of 5. So then rifle round comes around, and then you saw the 3 guys you kind of already tracked. Then where are the other 2 guys in the other spaces that they are not? Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like a logical deduction, like it's like a brain thing that requires a lot
Mm.
of memory, tracking, and storing, and being able to pull that up. For example, when your team comes out here as 5, you guys trade out. It's a 3v3, and then you're like, wait, yo, Killjoy's B, Reyna Viper's mid player. Go, free sight. Automatically knife out. Does that make sense? You can use that information later on. That's what people don't do. They're like, yeah, a 3v3. It will be a 3v3, and they don't track that information. So they're like, wait, there could be one more backside. There could be. We don't know. We don't know. But I know. People know. Because if you just track, wait, they're B players. Mid players and B players, they're going to come later. Maybe not like super late where we can get the bomb down, set up, throw utility down, and then they come. But we have time. We know. It's definitive. Right? So these are the
Mm.
small stuff you got to start thinking about in terms of this like part where I'm talking about, switching it up and tracking where they are and stuff. Because if you don't switch it up, what are they gonna do to you? Good players, like we just talked,
They're
they're
gonna.
they're gonna know what you're
Yeah.
doing, and when they know
Yeah.
what you're doing, they can know how to play against you or around you. Especially if you are a agent that is super like high impact with utility,
Mm.
right? Like on defense, they knew you're B, yes or no? After like
Yeah.
the first 3 times. And did it work when they went B? No, we shit on them.
Mm.
So they're like,
Mm.
yo, fuck, Killjoy's B. It's a little bit hard. Let's go A. And they kept going A, and
Yeah.
what happened? It kept working, right? And then what
Yeah.
did I tell you? Go set up A, and what
Switch it
happened?
up.
You fucking won the
Yeah.
round on A because you were there with your utility helping them out as well. You're going back
Yeah.
into them. Does that make sense? And that's why it's
Yep.
important to understand this, so that way, especially you, because you are a Sentinel player, if you're a duelist, not as important, still really important, that you need to go look for them in terms of predicting where they're going to go, reading them, having a read on them. But you, it's really important because you need to make that read, because you need to be the one not going into them, running it down on them, but having your setup where they're going.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? For example, like on
Yep.
bind as Cypher, right? If they know you're on B and they just keep going A, you need to go A at some point, or they're just gonna keep running it down on A, right? Because your utility is that important, and so that's something I'd like you to think about. Okay, any questions with this? No.
Nah,
Okay.
nah. Yeah.
Okay. This is a very, it seems very stupid or simple, or like some people might be like, ah, what is this guy talking about? This is a skill that will take you quite far if you can master it. The skill ceiling on this skill is really high. Okay, the next note
Mm.
is farm the orbs on attack more, especially on agents with big ults that can help change rounds. So I tried to like kind of hold myself back from telling you right away because I wanted to talk about it after the game, but I couldn't hold it back anymore after I saw you run past this orb 3 rounds in a row. Okay? Especially when you didn't have ult and nobody was taking it. This
Yeah.
is money. Okay?
Mm.
Just how I like to say space is money. This is money. This is of value, free value. And why? I'll ask you, how do we get ult orbs in terms of how do we feed our ult? There's multiple ways.
Dying,
We
getting
went
orbs.
right. We went through this a long time ago. Dying,
Yeah.
getting orbs. What else?
Panning spike.
Planning spike. What else? There's 2 more,
Diffusing.
right? And what else?
What's the last? I forgot the
Did you say dying?
last one. Yeah, dying. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So
So kills, dying, planning the bomb, defusing, and picking up
yeah, getting
orbs. So what does
yeah.
that mean? Right? We gotta break this down logically. If if we can get this from picking it up and not even getting a kill or planning or defusing or dying, what does that mean to you? Try to answer this. Very simple. What is
That you're
the
wasting.
no, no, it's not that you're wasting, but what is the value of this? Is it
Uh,
the same as getting a kill, or is it not the same?
it's not the same because you're getting like an extra opportunity to get like an alt or like an
Sure,
alt, basically.
you can make the case that it is the same, and I look at it that way, that it's the same. But you can also
Hmm.
make a case that it's even greater than getting a kill because we don't have to kill anybody, and it's here. We automatically know where it is, right?
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
always one on here and one on here. So we can make a case that it's even more of value than a kill because it's free. There's no work that
Mhm.
needs to be involved besides kind of protecting this guy, or making sure you're not gonna die when you pick it up. That's it, right? But killing is hard sometimes, especially when they're playing disciplined really good and they're good players, right? Or you're having off days. You're not gonna fill your orb up, right? So that's how you have to look at these orbs on the ground. They're the same values of getting kills, planting the bomb, defusing. Obviously, dying is bad, but that's just sometimes you get that value for dying because that's just how they made the game. Okay, don't blame me, but that's that. Okay, so pick
Mhm.
this up. Like automatically, you should be farming this as a clove, killjoy, fade, breach. Okay, those big ults that you need, right? Vice, right? Things to help you get on site, hold site, play post plant, pre plant, stuff like that. All right. So I know we talked about this a long time ago, so we'll leave it at that. Okay. Any questions with this?
No, I don't know. Just with my gameplay, I just make a lot of mistakes, but I need to tune that up
But
for
that's
sure.
fine.
That's what's.
I actually think that is a blessing. Those that
Mm.
make lots of mistakes, what can we do with that? It's very
You learn
simple.
from them.
We learn from them. So imagine you're at this level already and you're still making this many mistakes. Is that not of
Yeah.
value? Can you not
But like in
be,
my mind, I feel like I shouldn't be making as many mistakes because
but
I'm
you
like
shouldn't
top
be focusing on
whatever.
that. It doesn't matter. That's a
Yeah.
superficial thing you're thinking about. Oh, I'm immortal, so I shouldn't be making these mistakes. If you are a
Hmm.
good player, you will not make these mistakes. If you are
Yeah.
elite, you will not make these mistakes. If you are pro in essence, not a pro player, but very similar in true skill, you will not make these mistakes. Does that make sense? So your
Yeah.
mindset should not be in terms of ego involved, even though it's not a big ego. It's a small ego. It's very small. You're like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm immortal. I shouldn't be making these mistakes. These mistakes.
Yeah.
You should be having a mindset of being like, I need to fix the mistakes. I need to
Hmm.
learn from these moments in time. Right? Does that make sense? The mindset
Yeah.
should be on improvement, not stagnant and just feeling sorry for ourselves. Does that make sense? Or, feeling
Yeah.
bad about it and getting in our head a little bit, and that makes you play even worse. And then a player calls you shit, and you had a really rough day of playing ranked, and then now you're like believing your beliefs of fuck, I'm not good enough. I'm at this level, but I'm making these mistakes. I'm a piece of shit. Right? It
Yeah.
snowballs into self-doubt. Right? And then once it snowballs too big, you're gonna quit the game, like I did at one
Mm.
point. Okay, so
Yeah.
to gain confidence, okay, is to understand our capabilities. Right now, you understand you're making a lot of small mistakes. They're not big, huge mistakes, but they're so simple, right? They're so small. But this is what the pros think about. Small details that become consistently of value. So that way we're separating ourselves from the average Joe, right? That's how you
Hmm.
have to think. So that's that, okay? Any questions with this note? It seems
No.
very small, but it's very important because you never
Yeah.
know. I'm not saying in this game, but future reference or games later on, this orb maybe would have won you a round, that would have won you the game, and your economy's not better, or outright win you the game, the round, right? Because you
Mm.
got a big piece of ult like your Killjoy ult, and then you just could just ult right here, and then you guys waited it out and go in, right? So, there's a little like theory crafting involved, but that's how we have to be ready for those moments in the future by fixing these mistakes now. All right, so let's move on. The next thing is always understand what type of utility he has at his disposal in any situation. So this was that round here, 2v3. Remember how we started here as a team, we left, and then I'm pretty sure this is the round you guys came back up to mid, and then you and I can't remember if it was the Rain or Viper came back. It was two of you though, you included, like two total, and then you came here,
Mm.
right? Remember this round?
Yeah.
When you were here, oh, it was the Viper. Now I remember because he was like, "I'm putting the wall up for you." Remember? And then you knew that this was a good part. Most people, the guy would be like, "Oh, putting the wall out," and this guy would just go like this, and either die past this smoke or die because he didn't clear sight. So I love what you
Mm.
did here in terms of thought process. This is good. He goes, "Wall's going up." You're like, "Perfect. I don't need to look left. You look right. You cleared the sight. You even cleared here to
Here.
be super cautious to make sure he's not gonna die, right?" So that's a duelist aspect thing that I teach. Clear the whole site. That was good. Then you came back, but you came back right here, like either here or before that. Like when you come here to clear, you should automatically be looking at your utility and being like, okay, I have
Yeah.
this. Okay, I'm gonna clear this. Ghost, like you should be thinking ahead, not in the moment.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna go clear rafters. Okay, it's clear. I'm gonna go screens.
Yeah.
You need to think ahead. Okay, walls up, perfect. I need to look right. Gonna clear this, and then I'm gonna go screens and put my utility down. And it just becomes automatic. Like you just become so fucking efficient. Put it down here. Put a molly here, or maybe
Here.
even trigger the molly quickly, or wait to
Yeah.
here and this and that. You know what I'm saying? So
Because I had green util still. Like I had alarm bot and two mollies,
yeah,
and I
you had
didn't
a
use
lot,
any of it.
and that's more than half your utility, right? Because you didn't
Yeah.
have your ult, obviously, right? So
Mhm.
that's
So,
huge. Yeah.
in that case, do I? Staying hell was like good, and then just put like alarm bot there, and then play off your
I think this positioning is fine.
teams.
One thing I need to tell you though with this positioning, is it common?
Mm.
It's very simple.
Yeah, it is.
Do a
Like
lot
I
of
was.
people play here in this scenario where the whole site was lost in terms of the defensive side? They lost the whole site, whether they gave it up to retake or they over rotated, so they had to come back and it was open, right?
Mhm.
How often are people here? We just put ourselves in the
Yeah.
opposite team's shoes. How many times you
Yeah.
come
Pretty
here and you
often.
clear this first thing? You look
I
rafters,
always clear that.
right? So you
Yeah.
need to understand that at this level, you need to start
Yeah.
putting yourself in, maybe the enemy team shoes, or through past experiences on being like, okay, wait, this is super common angle. This is not a common angle.
Yeah.
This is a really good off angle where I get lots of kills and it's never cleared, right? You need to start thinking about these things. It's
Mm.
very important because that's what noobs, I'm not saying you are, I'm saying noobs, real noobs, don't think about that. They just go in the most common corner in the scenario or the area or the map or the site and they die and they go, what the fuck? Why did I die? Bro, you're sitting in a corner where they first clear, the first corner they're gonna clear, first angle they're
Yeah.
gonna clear. Does that make sense? So that's
Yeah.
what I was just gonna say with this angle. It's good spot if you make it into an off angle. This is the most common, right? You turn it into an off angle. Is this an off angle? Super good off angle because when they most of the time to clear this off angle, they have to slice the pie. They're not, and a lot of people like to pre-aim, pre-fire like this. So when he comes out like this and you're on an off angle, what happens? He's instantly dead. Instantly, because you're going to see him first. And even if he sees you and he wants to kill you and he's reacting late, he has to flick to kill you. He's not going to have time to go like, oh shit, and then micro adjust you. You're dead. You're just fucking here like this, off angle, boop, dead, right? So start thinking about these things a little bit. Okay, but yeah, so I would have liked. Oh, actually, I do believe you were in a slight off angle. Remember, I was like, go wider, go wider. Remember, I was like, hold a little wider, because
Yeah.
you were like, your crosshair as well was on the wall. And I was like, hold it wider, hold it wider. And then you kind of like took a step and it was like a little like here. So I was like, okay, that's fine. That's actually not so bad. But make it like better. Like come here.
Mm.
So that way you can see his shoulder first. Learn the angles, as in understanding how angles work in this game. Okay. But yeah, so
I have another question.
yeah, go ahead.
One more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Ask
in
as many questions as you want, bro. That's why I'm here.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So in a scenario where like you're trying to clutch, right? Say
Yeah.
it's a 1v act, like they have more numbers than you, like in that scenario, do you like what I always try to do is like try to play aggro and try to get the
Yep.
numbers down. Is
Yep.
that like good, or
Yeah,
should you like
that's
play more back passive?
generally these days. Back in the day, this was such a fucking like elite play. You know, like plant the
Yeah.
bomb, they've over rotated, and then they coming back, right? And then make this aggressive play. Like you could literally win rounds. You still can, but back then it was
Mm.
way more impact because they would never expect this at that time. Like episode 5 and 6, right? Like they'd be all running with their knives out. You don't know how many times I experienced that back in the day, not now. But these days, okay, I've done it so much in my sessions lately, where my students in the scenario they're coming back, okay, and I'm like, be careful, he's gonna walk, and this guy walks and they kill him because I told him that.
Yeah.
How do I know that? It's because I've seen it a lot. I've experienced it on both ends. Either I was ready for that and I killed him, or I did that and I killed one, or immediately died, or whatever, whatever. Okay, but
Mhm.
yeah, generally you need to take risk when you're man down, right? Even in this
Exactly.
2v2, 2v3, this was the risk. You push screens, right? The safe play is what? Back here,
Yeah,
back
probably.
here area, right? Jail, belt, top pipe,
Mm.
nest. This is super safe, right? These areas would be more for 5v4. Why do we need to why do we need to start going screens 3 people? No, we don't. I mean, yes, you can make that call as long as you guys are coordinated and that you guys are using util to help each other. But generally, yes. In my eyes, I don't. Some pros may agree, disagree, but I think most high-level players agree that when you're man down, you need to take some risk. Like you're not gonna just play safe in a 1v5 in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have to go and hold your make a play over here, get one, and then come back or whatever it is. Walk. Maybe you're gonna get on this and then you're gonna get on top of rafters and make a play on right here, right? You're gonna jump down, kill one, kill another one, then back off and start isolating to start dwindling the numbers. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
that's good. But also, what I want to speak on that is these days, this play,
Yeah.
when it's a 1v2, 1v3 is very common now. Just how this angle is common or any angle that they need to clear quickly,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
it's like to me it's common. Like I think most average players will be like, oh, it's not common. I've seen it enough, almost like 80%, 90% of the time where they make that play. Even in 1v1s, where the guy knows this guy's coming late or he has a read, he's the B player, he just comes out here to go for that play to catch him with his knife running. And me, I'm always vigilant in this 1v1 when I've lost the whole site and I know he's on the site. I just walk and I just wait. Or I'm just mentally ready to be like, okay, he could be close here. He's probably going to try to make a play. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
that's what you need to start thinking about a little bit more.
So
Okay.
a question.
Yep,
So
yep,
in
go
that
ahead.
scenario, like
Yep.
how I just like played hell, is it better if I like peek screens like outside, try to get a pick and then
Yeah,
fall back,
yeah.
or
I
like
think I think definitely that could be a
like right
way
here?
better play. Yeah, you just take that
Yeah.
aggressive peek, kill one,
Yeah.
and you don't
Exactly.
commit. You just come back immediately. Because
Yeah.
now it's 2v2. Now the situation has changed. The scenario
Yeah.
has changed. Where now we can play safe. We don't need to take risks anymore. Now what do we have to do? And I'll ask you. It's very simple.
Yeah.
What do we have to
Just
do
play
now?
back off.
Right.
Play
For
like with
why?
util.
Why? Break it down further. Why though?
Because it's a 2v2, like the
Yeah.
odds are pretty much 50-50. So you just play it better. You
But
just
give
win
me a
that.
better reason than that. Just because it's a 50-50, we gotta play safe. Sometimes it's 50-50, you gotta play aggressive. Okay, I know the
Mm,
answer, but try to answer this the best way you can.
because you have more firing power. Like you're playing with your teammate off util, and they have to defuse the
Mm,
bomb.
I'll help you a little bit. I don't want to, but I'll
Okay.
help you.
Okay.
It
Okay.
has something to do with the bomb, not defusing a little bit defusing, but something with the bomb. Okay?
Timer, like
The
the time's running
time,
low.
you got it.
Yeah.
Because all we have to do now is burn time. We don't even need
Yeah.
to get
Okay.
kills, right?
Hmm.
45 seconds for the bomb to explode, 7 seconds to defuse. So 2v3, you came here, and then you went for a play. Oh, you got a kill. 2v2, now you're backing up. Now the pressure's on them. Because they have to deduct, look for you, clear, and then get on the bomb. But now you guys are burning time playing safe. So they waste 6 seconds fully clearing the site. Nobody's dead. So now they obviously deduct you're here. But now we have play on the bomb. 2v2. Does that make sense? Instead of
Yeah.
2v3, you make the aggressive play, bloop, dead, and then you stay here. They start coming in a 2v2, and then they're gonna start deducting, flooding out. They kill you. Now it's 2v1. They deduct even harder, flooding even harder, and then it's way harder for this guy. And even if this guy kills the one guy defusing, what happens? It's a 1v1, right? This guy might even get a half. We're a little bit theory crafting here, right? And being hypothetical, but you get my point, right? So,
Yeah.
any questions? Any more
Nah,
questions
I'm
with
good.
this?
No, no,
Okay,
no.
so that's
So,
that. All right. But I like that you're asking these questions. They're very important. I'm being really honest. Not in, you don't know. 99% of my students, I go, any questions with this out? Nope. At the end of the session, do you have anything to ask? Nope. It's 99%. I'm not joking. Not joking. You need to ask not only me, better players questions, pros questions. You have to ask yourself questions. Okay,
yep.
you know all this shit I teach? It was self-taught. Nobody taught me this stuff. You know how I learned all this stuff? Because I asked myself the questions. Wait, in a 2v2, 2v3, logically, do I need to make a play? Do I just play safer? And when I rationalize that thought, what happens? I'm like, wait, I need to take a risk. We're behind, right? And that's how I got to this point where I can think about these things at this level. So you need to also ask yourself these questions in whichever scenario, whichever situation, whatever the fuck it is. You need to break these things down like I force you to break it down. You're on like step 1, 2 of breaking something down. You need to get the bottom, the root cause of, or the root, thing about it. All perspectives, unbiased. So that way you know the
Mm,
answer. That's how you get answers, right? So
yep.
that's what I would like you to think about. So let's move on. The next thing is needs to track enemies' tendencies and frequencies. Okay, we've talked about this here on this mid thing where we need to be unpredictable. We need to track how they play as a team and individual. And I've taught you this a long time ago, so I don't know if you'll
Yep.
remember it, but
Mm,
this skill alone will make you like a chess player in Valorant. Like you can almost never die if you master understanding not only how the enemy team plays as a whole, but how they play individually. Wait, this Viper's always mid. He's always
Here.
here. And then the Reyna's helping somewhere in kitchen, boiler. And then it's Omen Jet, and then Killjoy's B. And then on top of where you know they are, who is there, you take it a step further and being like, wait, Viper's here, but he always jump peeks, right? That's his tendency. He plays mid, but he's always jump peeking. Wait, Killjoy's always B. He plays B, but he's always passive. He never walks down. He's the perma anchor, right? I'm giving you real examples from your game, by the way, right? So
yeah.
and this and on A, Omen Jet on A, and Omen always smokes this. How many times did he smoke this? Almost every time. There was a few times he didn't in the beginning, but after you guys kept winning A, he's just smoked his 4 rounds in a row, right? Or even over here, you can even just maybe say, oh, Omen likes to smoke close on the site just to kind of pump fake us, scare us out a little bit to make us check the smoke, spam it, stuff like that. Does that make sense, right? And you can take it further where it's like, yo, and I'll give you like a non-specific example from a game, but like, oh, Omen Jet on A, and the Omen always walks down. He's done it 3 times out of 5 rounds. He likes to do that, and it's most of the time. That's the frequency, right? Tendency is what they like to do, how they do it. Frequency is in which rate they're doing it. Is it once a half, 5 times a half, every single round? Okay, it doesn't
Mhm.
even need to be in fractions like that. It can be in like just words, all the time, sometimes, never, here and there. Like you can even put it in that type of terms. That's what I do too when I'm in a game and I picked up on the enemy's tendency. I'm like, yo, this guy's permanently walking down on us. This guy's never doing it. Let's
Yeah.
rush down on A. This guy's moving back and forth here and there. The cipher. We might need to get smarter in terms of trying to track where he is and gaining info. You see how it takes into play there like that. So
Mhm.
you need to start thinking about breaking that down like that, because if you don't, good players are gonna do it against you, and then you're not gonna know how they play, where they are, what they like to do, and you're just fucked. You're gonna be lost, never gotta read. You're just gonna be defaulting, doing the same thing all the time, and then they know that, and it makes it easier for them to play against you. Okay, it all adds up. People don't think it adds up, but you need to have that type of mental memorization tracking mind. Okay, and I tell my students all the time, you may not use it the next round, you may not use it this round, but you will use it sometime in the future, whether that's 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 10 rounds in the future. That's why it's important to track and store that information. Also, I'll give you a tip. There are times where I fully know their setup, how many, and who it is, right? Like I just told you off this game. Um, trying to think how I put into words. Kind of losing my track of thought. But yeah, okay. So yeah, I lost my train of thought. But that's that. We'll move on. So it was really important, but I don't know what happened. Just slipped out of my mind while I was bringing up the example.
Mhm.
But yeah. Anyways, that's that. We'll move on. The next note is needs to work on calling more concepts. They are just 4 or 5, and I wrote this note before I asked you, by the way, what you guys are doing, because I didn't want to give you the answer. I wanted to see if you could get it. Needs
Mhm.
to work on calling more concepts. They are just 5/4 manning, and then start rotating mid round. Set up plays slash plans slash
Mhm.
creative ideas. Okay,
Yeah.
and this note is incorporated with the tendencies and frequencies thing. If we know how they like to play as a team, fast rotating, slow rotating, they're defaulting on defense, okay, where they are, who is there, how many, what kind of plays can we set up? Think about that and try to answer that. What can we,
We can
brainstorm?
set up fakes because
Right,
we know like they over rotate. We can
right,
fake A, go B, fake
sure.
B, go A.
Yep. If we were to talk specifics with the last game, right?
Yeah.
Or we could make a 5-man rush B. It's a solo killjoy. Or start B and go A because they're a fast rotate. So we fake B, we set it up. Sova, Jet, they're gonna 2-man fake. You're gonna hold mid. 2 people gonna walk up and kill this guy taking space. Because when you guys start contacting B with the drone and Jet, and maybe I'll do this before I talk about this point. So you know how we set it up. So Jet and Sova's here, right? And you're mid holding it
Mhm.
down, and 2 people are walking up. Let's freeze that. Okay, let's mentally image that. Sova's here droning. Jet is garage going out. You're here, okay, holding it down, right? And then 2 people are walking up, and let's say the drone is going up. Jet and Sova making a lot of noise. Let's freeze there. What are the enemies seeing? Generally, what's going through
Um,
their mind? You got to get in their shoes a little bit.
that you're going towards like B after holding like mid and stuff.
Right, not you, but who? The,
Yeah,
the, the team,
like the
your
team. Yeah,
team.
team.
They're
Yeah.
believing in their mind that you guys are trying to at least not maybe rush B. That would
Mhm.
depend on how you guys have been playing. We'll kind of look past that. That'll be more specific, but they will generally think that you guys are working B. Does that make sense? Yo, and what would they call? What's the communication there when they see a Sova drone and a jet smoked across and making noise, jumping around? What are they saying? Put yourself in
Like
their shoes,
to
right?
be at least
And what
Silver
else?
Drone and Radar
Right,
playing.
that's the important information. Yo, Sova's droning. Jet's here as well. What is it? Bro, it's a
Yeah.
duelist and an initiator. That means that they're gonna come up, no? So,
Yeah.
and then what would happen in terms of their rotation? Let's say
They're gonna
they
start over rotating.
right. So
They they'll have
let
like 1A for example.
yeah, but let's use the specifics with this game. So 2A,
Okay.
2 mid, 1B, right? Killjoy was B, right? So
Mhm.
they what will happen? I'll give you the answer is they'll start leaning B. because they're telling
Yeah.
the team, guys, 2, 3, whatever, how many you sold to fake. Sometimes 2 can look like 5 as well if the fake is good enough. Okay,
Mm.
that's what I do. But so 2 here, 2 here, 3 of them are gonna come beat a stack, or maybe 2, and then they leave 1A, 1 mid, and there's 3 on B, right, with a killjoy, right? We froze
Yeah.
it there. We freeze it again. Now we go
Mm.
back to our side, where let's say they're droning up to here with making noise with the jet, and then we continue from there. We unfreeze. Okay, you're here. 2 people are here, and they start walking up, and we put ourselves in their shoes again. So just how they start taking contact here, what did we say they're gonna do in terms of rotation? Lean, right? So 1 mid now, 1A. These guys walk up. They're selling the fake, so they're moving B while we're going up A. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So and this is a very powerful thing in terms of planning, setting up movement or positioning or the play, because we're gonna get on site with the least resistance possible, which is 1, 0 sometimes if they are retarded and they just start fast rotating 5 people to stack it because you guys been running it down 6 rounds in a row, right? Does that make
Mm.
sense? So
Yeah. So I have a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Like, say for example, we're all going B, right?
Hmm.
And there's like already 4 or 5 there,
Yep.
and we're trying to go back. Is it when we're like rotating outside to go like back to the other side? Is it good for like the sentinel to like stay around mid, or
Yeah.
should they like just
I,
go
I mean,
with the team?
what I would tell you is that you should never really be doing that. Like
Yeah.
that type of rotation where 4 people start B, and then they start B, 4 people, they identify there's a lot on B, it's stacked, high resistance. They're like, leave. This is always bad because what happens? Let's put ourselves in their shoes. Four people run up our team, right? Let's say, they Sova dart, we see a KJ Molly, Omen throws his blind, and your Reyna flashes over here wide because they don't want you guys to push from yellow. Okay, and they're like, yo, fuck, a lot here. And then we start rotating. Freeze. We put ourselves in their shoes. There's 4 here. What do they start doing?
They're gonna start dumping util and like
Not
over
really.
rotating,
That's what I'm looking for.
or
In terms
yeah,
of movement, is what we're talking about. They're
yeah,
gonna start
start leading.
booking it to A, no?
Mm. And
So,
like through mid and stuff, right?
right. And they're gonna start trying to cut you guys off. Right? Does that
Mm.
make sense? And a lot of
Yeah.
the times, they're gonna beat you to the race. I like to call it beat you to the race to A. Because they know, right?
Mm.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Yes. So they're gonna beat you there a big chunk of the times, or be very quick to be behind you guys. Like for example, you guys started 4 there on B main, and then you guys start rotating back, and you guys are here. They're gonna be fucking 4 people here already raiding, or maybe
Yeah.
kitchen, and then you guys get on site. They're already screens. It's not very a good play. So that's why I'm saying that you need to set up the lurks up and the contact up on the opposite side while you're pulling them to be, and these guys are already eating up that space going up the other side. Does that make sense?
I see. I
You
see.
should
Yeah.
only make those rotational calls when there's no choice. Guys, 5-man rush B. You guys rush B, but they stacked it, or you guys identify as high resistance, and we're 5 here. There's no option but to leave. Those are the
Mm.
times you should really be making these calls together as 5 or 4. If that makes sense.
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
can, you need to set it up. Guys, 3-man work B. Let's try to get lurk up on A, and then he'll gather information and tell us to come back, or he'll get a kill and it's automatically open because they lean fast, rotated, and now it's 0, and then he just has perma control and he's just sitting here waiting for everybody to come back, and then you guys start setting up blah 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 blah. We can talk about it all day, but you
Mm.
gotta start thinking about these things. Why? It's very simple. It's because you are a Mortal 3 player. Like, I have to be really hard on you with that.
Yeah.
Okay? Which I don't want to. But as an Immortal 3 player, Immortal 2 player, you need to think about these things. Because it's not like a plat elo where 5 people start here, the noobs on defense, 5 of them run B, and then they're like, wait, 5, and then we run off, and then 5 of them on defense, sitting here for 30 seconds not knowing what the hell's going on. Because they're dumb and slow to react. You understand? You're in an elo where it's automatic. Sometimes they get feelings prior to what they have seen and heard. For example, you guys start 4 or 5 here, and then they're stalling you guys off, and noise is cut. There's some players who are like, they're gonna go A, go, leave, like me. I'm like, yo, stay A. They're not in yet, right? They're just that good. They're that ahead in thought process. You're in that elo, and so that's why I need to be hard on you with that, because you need to be in a position in terms of your mind where you are ahead in thought process. You understand what is developing, how they're moving, where they're gonna go, what they're seeing, how they're feeling, what they're communicating to each other. Does that make sense? Because if you do those things, you will always be ahead of them, where you can go where they are not. And I'll ask you a question: is that of value? To lead your
Yeah.
team to where it is one guy, two guys maximum as a team, five, four. And we can think about maybe statistics too. I'm pretty sure a 4v2 in the long term, over 1,000 rounds, the 4v2 is going to win, right? Whatever the percentage is, whether it's an 80% win rate over the long term or a 60, 70%, you're winning in the long term. Do you understand? But if you
Mm.
always make these plays where you guys are four, then we make a mid-round call to leave, bro, it's like 50-50, 40-60 their way, because they're ahead. They know. They maybe even have taken space already and ready for that rotation. No?
Yep.
So that's what I like to, and I'll put this on you too, because you're a sentinel. Start IGLing more. Make the mistakes. Make calls that are going to lose you the game. I'm serious. That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
There, in the beginning, I tell this to all my students. In the beginning, I would call bullshit. I wouldn't even understand where they are, who's where, what they like to do, and I would just be like, guys, let's run a fake, and it wouldn't work. Let's do this. It's bad. It's too predictable. They knew we were gonna do it. That's how I used to call in the beginning. But I built myself up by being like, okay, that was too predictable. Fuck, we shouldn't have rushed B that third time. Maybe we should have set up that fake there, sold the fake on B, and then go A. Maybe we should have just defaulted, played slow a little bit, play for picks, control areas, group up somewhere, and then go. Fuck, we should have re-hit it. We shouldn't have rotated. We should have slowed down. That's how you build it up. There's so many games where I wanted to just break my computer because I knew I had to take all responsibility because I made the call. But do I get worse from that moment in time? No. I get better because I told myself in those moments, I'm never going to let this happen again. You need to start thinking like that. Where you're calling, your plays, positioning, everything, clutch situations, thought processes. Okay, it's really important, and I'm gonna have to be really hard on you about it
Mm.
because, first of all, I care about you, so I wouldn't want you to
Yeah.
be a bad player. I want you to be an elite player. And then,
Mm.
secondly, because I feel like you have that potential to, and you're at the elo where it's used the most. You think I would teach this type of we'd talk like this to a silver player? No, I'd be like, yo, just work on, just kind of focus on, calling, and that's it. And then he can build upon that on his own. But we're talking like
Yeah.
finer details of how to call, planning, understanding movements, blah, 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 blah. Right? Because it's important at this elo. The other team, even though you guys won, okay, they were doing that. Somebody at least. I hope so. If nobody was, then I lose all hope in Valorant at this elo. Okay, but in my eyes, my expectation of an Immortal 3, Immortal 2 elo game, somebody is thinking about these things. And I'll give you an example. Your Viper was too, right? He was thinking about, wait, maybe we should leave. Maybe this, boom, boom, boom. He was the only one kind of doing that on your team. He was communicating it also, and that's something I do too. I don't keep these thoughts to myself. I tell them, wait, guys, I think they could do this. I think this, and then they bounce ideas off that thought process, and it builds our team's ideas of what we need to do as a team. Everybody pitches in at that point. You understand?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
work on this calling, understanding movement, pathing, timing, and all that nonsense, which is very simple, but the skill ceilings of them are very high. You make it how you want it to be. That's the beauty of this game. You can be a map hacking god without map hacking, or you can just be an average player that never knows what the hell to do. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Any more questions with this note?
No.
Okay, good.
Everything's.
On top of this note, I would like to say, specifically for this last game, you could have called default way more.
Yeah.
right? When you watch pro play or Radiant streams, okay, defaulting is like one of the most common strategies they use. They don't run it like, well, yeah, run it down is pretty common too. But if running it down doesn't work anymore, they just default. Like in my eyes, this is my opinion. I feel like I don't know 100% because we don't have the stats in terms of Radiant games, but Radiant rank games. But um, default is used way more than fakes. Like at that level, they don't even try to fake too much. They use it, but they rather default because it's easier. It's more control. It's less complicated. Does that make sense? Because fakes, you gotta set that shit up at that level. Like it's gotta be specific and it's gotta be sold. It's gotta make sense. Right? Default doesn't need to make sense. Everyone needs to just spread out, try to get a kill, and then group up somewhere and then hit together. Super simple, right? But it's so powerful. So you need to start incorporating that thought, guys. It's so and on top of that note, tempo, right? You guys ran it down how many times? Like 5 times in the beginning, right? And then
Yeah, a lot.
rotate it off. You need to be able to, guys. Okay, let's slow it down now. Let's speed it up now. They think we're defaulting. We defaulted 5 rounds in a row, so they're all hard anchoring, waiting for us to play for picks. Let's start. We switch it up. Let's start playing fast now, right?
Okay. Yep.
They're fast rotating. And we've been running it down. Let's slow it down. It's not working anymore. As soon as something stops working, you need to start thinking what you can do. Find ideas, experiment, put concepts together. These concepts I taught you, the 6 concepts, I want to ask you because I hope you know. But it's inserting lurks slash lurking, defaulting, contacting, fakes, rehits, and then running it down. These 6 basic concepts are really important that you utilize them. They're like, I told another student this. I'm like, they're like guns. There's 6 different guns. One's a shotgun, one's a grenade, one's a SMG, one's a fucking rifle. Okay, when you go to war, are you using just a rifle, an army, or a team? One guy's got a
Honestly, not.
fucking rocket launcher. One guy's got fucking grenades. One guy's got a fucking LMG. Everybody has their own role. So that's how you have to think about it. Every concept has a role, has a place in time where you can use it. But to get better at this, it's super simple. Is to make mistakes and to grow upon that. It's the easiest way. Okay, so that's that. We'll leave it there. Any questions?
Nah.
Okay,
Good.
let's move on. The next thing is defensively needs to understand his position with the situation slash scenario at hand. He tends to go into fights as a sentinel. Needs to play smart and patient slash control more. Okay, start of the session, what did I ask you? What problems are you having? You said I die first all the time on Sentinel. They get mad at
Yeah.
me for dying. This is the reason why. This round where pistol, you know they're there. I even confirmed with you 3 times, like, yo, they're all there. They're all only be main. And I'll ask you
Yeah.
why. Super simple. Why did we know that they were all B main?
Because we know like they like to default like 2-1-2.
Nope, that's incorrect. They're very
Uh,
simple. Think about what happened on A main and mid. Replay the round in your mind.
I think there was like a one up mid or one up A already, and then
Yep.
one mid.
There
Yeah,
was only
they're heavy towards B.
there was only one in this area, but what
Yeah,
did your teammates do to this guy?
they killed him. They pushed up and
How
killed him
did they kill him? You just
because they
said
took
it.
space.
Right. They
Yeah.
pushed
Mm.
up. I saw in this moment in time when you were just looking at your POV, I looked at the minimap, saw the Reyna going up mid, Jet pushing out A. And if we go back to the rule of thirds and they kill this guy, where are they? Remember that questions I
Yeah,
said? Where are they? If we have control of mid third, A main third, where are they?
they're leaning towards B.
It's not they're leaning towards B. We know without a doubt they are in B main.
Yeah,
Where else are they? They can't be behind your Jet when he went down B main, A main and mid and behind the Reyna. It's impossible.
yeah,
They are 100%. That's why I was like, they are B main. They are B. I knew that, and you knew that. Maybe in like within your feelings, intuitively, but you're so just trying to kill them. All you had to do was wait, and you call it too, guys. all B main, these guys start pinching, and you just play safe. And I'll ask you why. Why should we not take this fight?
Because we wait for the guys behind them to
Perfect.
walk up and
Understand?
get
We
picks in.
need to buy time for these guys. No, they're not in
Yeah.
B main behind them, like about to knife them like this. Like this guy's here and this guy's here, bro. They're far. They need to, close some gap, right? So that's why if you die here, I'll break it down for you. If you die here and they're on the way on the flank, what happens? What will the enemy team start saying? Freeze. Put yourself in their shoes, like you would do. When they
They'll
get the
like
first pick here, what will they say? Leave or go?
probably go up
Right. And
after you get a
so,
pick. Yeah.
and we'll be on the attacking perspective. Let's say you're over here, okay, behind. He can't see you, and these guys are
Mhm.
the Reyna and the Jet are flanking, and then they kill you. And just how you answer the question, they would say go. They start going, and then you've given up all this space. What happens to the flank?
Yeah.
It gets
It's longer for them.
diminished.
Yeah.
Not just longer, it gets diminished as in the sense of once they come here, start planting the bomb, have control, there's not much resistance, what happens? This guy automatically at yellow goes, I'm holding flank, I'm watching flank, and then whatever, they'll come back or whatever. But they put their focus here, and then that timing is gone. But by you staying here, understanding that they're flanking, and maybe you shoot around and you throw a moldy
Here.
down here and you start buying time, jiggling, controlling, they have to be really cautious or make that choice to push you here, but that may buy enough time where these guys can come behind and kill 3 people, right? Obviously it's a little hypothetical, because sometimes they'll make that play to push you, they kill you, they had the time to get here, but they still die. It obviously goes both ways, but generally you will buy them enough time where they can make that play, win or lose. Does that make sense? So, but if we replay this round, like you just went here, peeked into 3 people dry in the most standard spot, and just died, right? Obviously won the round, but still, this is where we can get some edge or some value in terms of overall production. Like your stats will be better too because you don't die as much, right? You're more alive. You have value by being alive, right?
Mhm.
Because you can do something later down the line. That's why. It's because you're not out of the round. Does that make sense? Maybe we don't know
And
what can
I
happen.
die a lot as well, so
You die a lot, sorry.
yeah, I die a lot, so
Yeah.
I need to like value my life more, I
But do you
think.
die a lot first? A lot.
Yeah,
That's
sometimes,
the
yeah.
key. It's okay to die a lot, okay? Because I ask a
Mhm.
lot of my students a lot when I teach them about taking space. I ask them, "What are the chances you're gonna die?" And they go, "A lot." And usually, why I bring that up is because they died without making the play. Like they didn't take the space and still died and lost the round. So I'm like, "What are the chances they're gonna die?" And they're like, "A lot." I'm like, "So then you might as well do that play instead of just dying." You understand? Take the risk at least where there's a reward instead of no reward and still dying, right?
Okay.
So, but
Yeah.
if you are dying first, it's a big problem. Okay, and I can break this down for you because I have before with another student, multiple students. If you die first, you are giving them first blood. When you give them a first blood, what does that mean? Very simple.
Numbers. Like they just get a
Numbers,
lot of value and space.
right?
Space
They
value.
gain a man advantage, 5v4, and then they open up the map. Space. It opens up when you die here because if you're here, is there gonna be another guy right behind you looking at your butt?
Probably not.
No, he's gonna probably be snowman, top side, right? So when you are the side player and die, it opens up this whole area. There might be one orange or kitchen. You understand?
Mhm.
There are times where there's 2, like one here, one over here, but still, they'll still open up half the site. No, it'll make it
Yeah.
harder for this guy. He has to look behind him and over here, and he'll get pinched a lot of times, especially when the team is aggressive. So that's that. I really hope that makes sense for you. I think it does. Any questions with kind of what we went through?
So
Yeah.
yeah, so in that case, is it better to as a senti and they're like they're all like rushing you like 5 man, whatever, 4 man.
Yeah.
Is it better to play sight or is it better to retake in situations? Because I'm not sure.
Well,
Like,
so it really
what?
depends on the map because sometimes retaking means like, leaving the site, right? But
Mm,
on this site, honestly, I feel like when you say, yo, guys, let's retake, like it's like backside. You're just sitting here, right? You're not going
Yeah.
like fucking over here to retake, are you? No, you're gonna have
Mm.
some control. So, generally, what I do is if I feel like I cannot hold it by myself or whatever, I'm not a cipher or whatever it is. Okay, I'm scared, whatever. Okay, I'll give it up. I just go backside. That's the best thing you can do. Okay, maps like Haven, backside's not viable because you're gonna die. They're gonna clear it. Right here, there's
Okay.
protection. There's gonna be the orange cross, snowman. Right, there's 2 points where they can kind of hold you. But those sites like Haven on A, like bro, you're gonna get cleared. You gotta leave into spawn to the stairs of heaven. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I had Haven in mind actually, like for a
yeah,
Sentinel, like I play C, right? So I
yeah,
was just thinking like backside, like, or
yeah.
do I
Like
just play
no,
retake
no,
in that
like
case?
that also is not a site where when you say retake, you stay back site. You need to
Yeah.
leave into spawn. Okay, but
Okay.
I would leave that up to you, where you kind of have
Yeah.
to figure that out because there's not real textbook answers. But that's how I see it, me personally.
Hmm.
Okay, but here, B on Icebox is a site where when you say retake, retake, you can wait here. You can just kind of
Yeah.
hold it down here because there's POVs, line of sight, where teammates can hold the guys that are gonna push you. And also, do they need to clear backside to really get the bomb on this specific site map versus other
No.
maps? No, right? It's more unique, right? They just have to get here and plant. They're gonna smoke this area, this line off, and or whatever molly, and and they just have to jump away, right? Because this
Yeah.
area to clear is very hard. Look how big it is.
Mm.
Like Haven, the rectangle is like this big, right? This is like almost like 30% bigger. So it takes longer. There's more room for the defenders to play around, especially if they hear you. Okay, so does that make sense? Okay, any questions? Any more?
No.
Okay, that's that. So that's what you need to start thinking about in terms of positioning. Okay, I've been teaching this too, where you can start aggressive, start up front. Don't just AFK backside starting every single time like a noob. Okay, that's what noobs do. Be aggressive, start here, up lot, and then you go back to your secondary position. Right here. Then you see them come out again and dump more utility. Then we go to our third position. Okay, and then obviously once you come to this or decided to come here, there's no going anywhere else. So you have to stand your ground. Right? Or maybe you can go here as your third position if you want to play really safe. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you need to start working upon this, and I'll send you a video that explains this pretty well. So
So
that's
I
yeah.
actually do have a question.
Yep.
So as a KJ, like I have my turret on boiler, right?
Mhm.
But I want to like take space B main. But my turret goes
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the only thing on KJ. Like
Yeah.
I can't
So
really take space too much.
yeah. So then you need to think
'Cause-
about that. You're not gonna put your turret boiler if you're gonna walk down B main. You need to make that
okay.
decision prior. Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you put that turret there, and then in the middle of the round, your teammates say 5A, you're here aggressively holding position, gaining info. Oh, nothing B, and then you want to do it. There's nothing really you can do. You just do it, and then hopefully you can
Okay.
get back in position to get it back up, or just take it back
Yeah.
completely. Right. But if you make a
Okay.
pre-round play, obviously you're not gonna put it there. You're probably gonna put it here, or maybe on top of yellow, or
Mm.
not even put it down at all. You just put like your alarm bot under tube or something, or maybe you could even put it here, your turret right here,
Yeah.
right? And then when you walk,
Okay.
like your full radius, even up to like here probably, right?
Yeah.
So that's that.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense? So
Yeah.
if it's in a mid round in terms of you put it down already and you're here and you want to do it, there's really nothing you can do. If it's a pre-round kind of idea, then obviously you would never put that there because it's gonna go out of radius real quick. So
Mm.
um, that's that. Okay, let's move on.
Yep.
The next thing is oh, yep, that's pretty much it. So defensively inside stand. Yep, so that's that. Okay, so let's play another game
Okay.
and let's try to think about these notes, everything we kind of talked about, and try to apply it. So go ahead and share your
Yeah.
screen.